Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Bennie Thompson of Mississippi. He is the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Chairman Thompson, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'd like to start, first of all, with your reaction to what we saw unfolding in Portland last night. What is your reaction? Do you condemn the violence there? The president, obviously, as we noted, has weighed in a way that seems to be ginning things up.
Well, there's no question about it. Violence in any form is not acceptable. Kasie, we live in America. Individuals can demonstrate what they stand for, their rights. But when it comes to violence, we have to say no. And so for the president, however, to urge individuals on by calling them great patriots and other things, that's not healthy for any community, and especially the good people of Portland.
So President Trump has been arguing, in his campaign, has been arguing that crime is coming to your neighborhood in a Joe Biden America. That's his, current talking point. And as we pointed out, the former vice president getting ready to push back against that, trying to reverse what's going on there. But do you think what's happening in Portland plays into the president's campaign message here?
Well, I think the president is trying to act as if he's running for president, not running for re-election. He's been there 3.5 years. He should have created relationships with mayors and governors all over this great country of ours, but he's served as a divider in this country for the last 3.5 years, so he can't have it both ways. You are in charge, Mr. President. Talk to the elected officials, both at the state and local level, and I believe you will be surprised when you find they are concerned about their communities also.
Do you think voters who may be on the fence or may be deciding whether or not to go to the polls, perhaps people who voted for Donald Trump in 2016 but aren't sure about supporting him this time, how do you think what we're seeing in Portland over the weekend affects where they stand?
Well, Kasie, this is red meat to his base. There's no question about it. He is trying to convince people that America is bad, that the only good individuals are those people who support Donald Trump. And that's not the case. I say to our president, you're the president of the United States. You are the commander-in-chief. You are not the divider-in-chief for which you do on a daily basis. His tweets are not helpful. Him talking about local elected officials who are Democratic does not help the case. And for him not to talk about certain individuals who are doing bad because they belong to his base is not right. I abhor violence. Most Democrats I know feel the same way. So violence is not a Democratic issue. It's not a Republican issue. It's an American issue. So our president needs to get his facts right, speak to the people, and not try to convince them that as a bully, he can continue to divide us. It's not good. It's not healthy.
And what do you think Vice President Joe Biden should be doing in this moment? I mean, it seems to me that framing what we're learning he's going to frame this event tomorrow as, are you safe in Donald Trump's America? It at least acknowledges that he needs to be pushing back against that campaign message that's coming from Republicans. Is that enough? What else should his campaign be doing right now?
Well, I'm convinced that the Biden campaign, first of all, will take sides on what's right. No one will support anyone becoming harmed just because of a demonstration. I'm convinced what we have to have in President Biden, and we'll see it tomorrow, is a president who will understand exactly what we need here. We need someone with a plan. We need someone who can unify the community. We need someone who will pick up the phone and call the mayors, call the governors, call the families who are impacted, and let them hear from him how he's concerned about it. My understanding is that the president is yet to call any of the parties impacted by what's going on in Portland or Kenosha because he doesn't feel, for whatever reason, that they are part of America or they are loyal to him. Loyalty does not dictate what you do. When you are the commander-in-chief of the greatest country in the world, you have to act like it 24/7. You can't do it once every other blue moon. Mr. President, act presidential. I think what you'll see in Vice President Biden is someone who is also sympathetic yet empathetic with the situation, but is pragmatic about what we have to do in order to get our hands around it. So I look forward to what he will say.
Let me ask you to put on your hat as chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, because we learned over the weekend that the ODNI, the Director of National Intelligence, is no longer going to provide oral briefings to Congress on election security. What's your reaction to that? And are there any tools Congress has to try and reverse that decision?
Well, we can do several things. First of all, we can demand that those individuals present themselves for the various briefings. If not, one of the things we can subpoena those officials to come to the hearing. Last year, I had to subpoena the DHS secretary as well as the DNI to come and give my committee a threats briefing, which historically had always been the case. It was only when Donald Trump became president that we start getting the pushback on routine intelligence. Every member of Congress, Kasie, signs an oath that says any classified information that I receive, I will not violate any ethics around that. So I don't see this question about people, for whatever reason, telling what they've been told. I've not been privy to anyone saying information is getting out. And I say both Democrats and Republicans, as far as I'm concerned, have been very cautious in not just reading and digesting the information, but make sure that that oath that they certify once they are elected, that they protect that. So I think this is another Trump ploy in his reelection scheme, because there's no question 4 years ago the Republicans were helped, the Trump administration was helped by the Russians. There's already information available to say that they plan to do it again. Misinformation, as you know, has already occurred in the state of Michigan, promoted by the Russians. So things are happening already. But as members of Congress, the DNI should be sharing that information with us on a regular basis.
All right, Chairman Bennie Thompson, thank you very much for your time tonight, sir. It's always great to have you on the program.